What was the it was the softball. Got it. Yeah. I was going to say, what was the sport? Yeah. Okay. Not that I played any sports.
Shocker. Wait, Rosenstein, did you play softball?
Yeah, baby, I was a catcher. You know what I'm talking about?
That is so shocking.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Not Cool with me, Sarah Hyland. We have a very special guest. We have two. I brought my wife, Jen Rosenstein, who's a famous photographer. Look her up on Instagram, and just an all-around badass. But my guest today, I met a couple years ago, I think, but has been in the same circle, and I can't even believe that you're on the show.
Shut up.
Actually, no, because okay. So she is a radio personality in the world-renowned KROQ here in Los Angeles, and I listened to Megan Holiday, who's my guest. Megan Holiday, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Megan.
I love you guys. Well, we've actually known each other I feel like we've known each other for 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just a pandemic in between,
Yeah.
I've known you guys for a while.
Well, I thought about before we came here, I was like, when did I am so actually a little bit embarrassed about myself because I didn't recognize. I've listened to KROQ for like you, Nicole Alvarez, Megan Holiday. Like I've known those names because it's the most famous rock station here in Los Angeles. What the fuck?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. And
Well, it is the world famous KROQ,
it is the world
but I don't know.
famous.
It's nuts. But I met you out in Covina.
That's
and
right.
I remember we were just talking, and I had no idea who I was talking to. And I was like,
And she had crazy color hair.
you had orange hair.
Yep.
You had orange hair. And I was like, oh, well, what do you do? I don't know how we got on that topic because I usually don't ask people what they do. But somehow we were on that topic. And you're like, I'm just like a DJ. And I was like, oh, cool.
She just like bat mitzvahs and stuff.
Yeah.
Literally. And I was like, everybody's a DJ.
Those are
in LA.
weddings.
You know what I'm saying? Just got to play the House of Pain at the, at the weddings and all that stuff, Yeah.
But,
YMCA.
Yeah.
everybody has the side gig of being a DJ. I didn't think that about
Yeah.
you, but it didn't click. And then it wasn't until like later that I was like, holy shit, that was Megan Holiday.
The famous Megan Holiday.
Well, you probably didn't expect, to meet me in Covina, California. That was probably not where you were expecting.
The Inland Empire.
That was where I got sober, though. That was where I got sober.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Right? Do you feel
Totally.
comfortable talking about that?
No, of course. I'm
Yeah.
pretty open about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I kind of have both of you on. One, because you're both from the IE.
That's right. 909,
909.
baby.
Actually, what I love is that Megan went to the Rivalry all-girls high school.
I went to St. Lucy's.
And I went to Altamont High School.
Yep.
A couple years off.
Oh, yeah.
99.
04.
04.
Yeah.
Just a little off. But Altaloma used to huge competition.
Yeah.
For their school. And
What was the it was the softball. Got it. Yeah. I was going to say, what was the sport? Yeah. Okay. Not that I played any sports.
Shocker. Wait, Rosenstein, did you play softball?
Yeah, baby, I was a catcher. You know what I'm talking about?
That is so shocking.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait.
It's true.
I swear I thought you did like ballet or something, but you did.
It was a side gig. Ballet was a side gig. For sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but the 909, the Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah. It's still a place I visit. My dad still lives out there.
My mom and my sister and my nephews are.
Yeah. I really love it out there now. Now that I'm not there, when I go back, I'm like, God, this place is so peaceful. LA is such a shit show.
Do you remember Taco Factory?
Taco Factory, yeah. Yeah, where was that?
I love when you guys start getting
Okay,
into the
yeah.
food.
Let's go. Yeah.
Vince's Spaghetti.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Vince's
fuck
Spaghetti.
yeah, Vince's Spaghetti.
I'm like, KFC, anybody?
You know, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
KFC. Yeah, what up, chicken? Okay, sorry, I just want to get it
Okay. Okay.
No, it's good. Hometown, we have hometown.
That's right.
You get into it immediately of usually like food.
Yeah, that is
It's the
true.
bomb.
Yes.
Yeah. Good talk.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to interrupt the love fest of Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, no.
Of
We're going to keep the love fest going the whole time.
Keep it going. It's going to be so much fun.
Well, so that's why I wanted to have Jen on as well,
Yes.
because one, there's a lot of commonalities. One, I openly say we're all sober individuals.
Yep.
That's how Megan and I actually met and have had a thread through of our entire, and we've had break-off relationships because of that. In the music industry, entertainment industry, just all around.
And
And
the
so
comedy scene, you
yeah,
know?
and the comedies.
All of it.
Yeah. So I always think it's so cool when I've heard a snippet of your story, and like coming from where you came from with drugs, alcohol, all of that encompasses, to where you are now, which is like a hugely successful in a career that 1% of the whole world population will ever manage to get into. It's like, yo.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. It's pretty weird how it all landed, you know?
Yeah.
And also, can we just mention too, every time we're in the car and we hear like, it's Megan Holiday, but what do I?
We just did that today.
Yeah, I'm like, hi!
Hi, Megan!
Or I've texted you a few times.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
have.
oh, you sound so good today.
Oh, my God.
Like
God bless you guys.
dummy,
Thank you.
dummy dick that I am.
It means a lot. It really does, though, you know?
We love you. We think we support you. We think you're such a goddamn awesome human being. Like, for real.
Well,
like, special.
I'm glad that I've tricked you guys this
You
far.
have,
You know, I've done a pretty good job. You
Lies.
know? Yeah.
Well, so that brings me to, how long have you been sober?
Okay, I've been sober. It'll be 8 years in January.
Holy hell.
Which is nuts.
Right.
I know. I can't believe it.
And you've been at KROQ for how long?
So I got the gig at KROQ when I was like maybe 60 days sober, maybe less than that. I was in a top bunk in sober living in Covina, sharing a room with 3 other girls, and I had nothing. I was doing like social media for like a vape shop, and I was also rolling rags, individual rags in a storage container for like someone who had like a car detailing company because I needed money so badly. Okay. And then like what basically had happened, because when I started my radio career, it was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And so it was the parent company at that time was CBS Radio for the station Live 105 in San Francisco. And KROQ was like the sister station, so owned by the same company. And so when I got fired, you know, all those years ago from Live 105, it was because I was doing shady stuff, you know?
You don't say.
I was doing some shady things, so
No
they
way.
fired me, which I
No
deserved.
way.
And honestly, it was the best thing ever because it started that like train, that motion for me to inevitably get sober, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I was in the sober living, Nicole Alvarez hits me up and she was like, hey, dude, like, you know, have you thought at all about getting back into doing radio? And, you know, I go, I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome, but I don't see how that could happen. And she basically was saying, look, they're looking for someone to fill in for me. Like, I'm going to go on maternity leave. And I was able to reach out to the music director at the time. Her name's Lisa Warden. She's with another station now, with another company. But I was able to reach out to her because when I had done my internship at 91X, even before Live 105, I worked with her husband. So it was like, there was like all these, you know, connections, like all of this, like connect the dots kind of thing. And so I was able to email her and just say, hey, like, I'm looking to get back into radio. So she's like, okay, come in and like meet with me and Kevin Weatherly, the program director. So I went in there and I remember I was terrified, you know, because I was just so scared that, you know, they weren't going to give me this opportunity. They were going to find out the truth. And it was, you know, like we talk about being sober is like the rigorous honesty thing. So I just went in there and I told them everything. You know, I said, like, this is what I did. It was the biggest fuck up of my life.
Give them your inventory.
Yeah, I was like, I miss doing radio. I said, here's the thing. I'm in sober living right now. I only have 60 days sober. I was like...
And I stole a lollipop in 6th grade. I am so sorry.
Please forgive me. Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, it's amazing that, because I remember I was 30 days sober and I went to apply at Buffalo Exchange.
Okay.
And I remember because you're so in tune to be like, I have to be honest. I have to be. And I remember I was living out of my car still. I was super young, and I remember the interview. I got an interview at Buffalo Exchange, and she said, "Well, what's the best thing that what's the thing that you're most proud of that you've ever done?" And I was like, I'm 30 days sober, and I'm in my car. Like I let it rip of like the whole homeless eating tater tots out of the trash. Like I went in, I did not get the job. I did not get the job. And she was like, thank you so much. And she's sweating.
So
I'm sweating.
funny.
I was like, thank you. And
yeah. We can be a lot for people to take in sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I figure we're going to land where we're supposed to land. And the people that are going to see us, you know, those are the ones. Those are the ones we're supposed to have those connections with, you know?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But it worked.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It worked. So, and interesting enough, so Nicole Alvarez, by the way, if you're not in Los Angeles, which is the majority of who's listening to this, Nicole Alvarez is also a massive personality.
Yeah, she's been with KROQ for over 20 years. Whoa. She has the sexiest voice ever. Kat Corbett.
I do love Kat Corbett.
Yeah.
She's our homie.
I love
Kat Corbett, we love
so
you.
much.
We need to have her on the show.
Yeah.
Kat's amazing.
Oh, you totally should.
Oh my God, she would
Kat.
love to be on the show.
Yeah.
But correction,
okay.
I think the sexiest voice on radio.
I'm gonna come at you.
No.
Megan Holiday.
I don't think so.
Do you want that to be your song?
Yes, the jingle. Yeah, please.
The jingle.
Yeah. Yeah.
The jingle.
We'll make a new jock jingle.
So
it'll be called the Rosenstein special.
Well, I think Sarah and I can actually do a jingle for you right now. Ready?
Can
Here
I
we
get
go.
back to my, I have
3,
a okay.
2, 1.
Yes. All right, get a full interview. Megan Holiday is the best way to start your day in a whole new way with Megan Holiday. Megan Holiday!
Yeah!
Oh my God, you guys.
Think about it.
Please.
Add some auto-tune and a violin.
No, like really though, we need to record it and I will play it on the radio. Okay, I'm not even kidding. I'll just call you and if you can remake that,
just add some
I will
reverb.
Record it and I'm gonna play it on the radio.
Okay.
At least once.
Add a chorus and a choir in the back.
Yeah, I need that.
I know.
And it is the best way to start your day with Megan Holiday.
It is.
Come on.
It's like a holiday every day.
Part of waking up with a little holiday in your cup. Oh,
Megan Holiday, yeah.
I've lost everybody that is listening to this due to my screechy ass voice. I'm sorry. Can we do something about that in post?
No, we need all.
God.
We
Can
need
we
it raw.
All auto-tune, which they did to every 90s band in the... Okay, anyway, don't even get started.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting this interview. Continue on.
But I wanted to know, backing it up. So obviously, the amazing part about this is you had a relationship. Mm-hmm. Damn it, there's a fly in here.
Yeah,
that is so atrocious.
Yeah, and it's like
Instagram stories
gone into my. Oh, and let me tell you this: I haven't had hot water for 2 days in my building. So
okay, cryo.
So the old, I have not.
Are you feeling
I'm not taking a cold shower. Okay, look, I know cold plunges are all the rage, but I'm bird bathing. I'm not getting in a fucking cold shower. Are you kidding? So this fly is stoked that I'm in here right now. This fly is.
Did you bring the fly in the podcast room?
I probably brought it from home.
It is. Whenever I have a fly flying around me, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I need to wash my clothes. Like, I get an instant.
And I will not wash my hair for a week. Like, that's just normal. I'm like,
I know
just
so
not doing
many
it.
women that do that. I can't do it.
Yeah, I hate how it looks when I first wash it. I hate it.
Because it's super, like,
it's just all fluffy and disgusting, and I can't.
I feel you.
We smell good, but don't look good.
Not for the looky looks.
You smell
I have to wash it every day. It's why I can't have extensions or anything nice or eyelashes or actual eyebrows. Like, I can't do it because
it's a good thing you're just so beautiful.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I do the most that I can.
Hot.
She's so hot.
She's pretty
you
hot.
guys, let's get back onto me.
Okay.
So,
Sarah Hyland,
you're so hot and you're so cool, but you're not cool because you do the Not Cool podcast. Yeah.
Wow.
That felt good.
Well, by the time this is over, we have to do one for Jen because we both have one.
No, it's all good. It's okay.
So if anybody wants to their ringtone, go for it. So the great thing about this is that you already had that relationship. Mm-hmm. with Nicole Alvarez, that when you got sober and you were like super new sober, that you guys still, she was like, you know, that's the thing, that that's crazy on the journey of like those relationships, that even though you got messed up and like how crazy your life was, like how divine that is, that she reached out and was hey, you're 60 days sober and out of your mind on the top of a bunk bed in a sober living.
Yeah.
But hey, girl.
I know. I don't know. I honestly, I have to ask her. I don't know at that time. She must have been pretty confused about what happened, or I don't know if we corresponded at all, because I was, you know, high out of my mind for so long that I don't know if I ever told her, you know, anything. But yeah, but she did see that I was back in Southern California, and she was like, huh, we should have this drug addict come fill in for me while
this drug addict. Come on in, make it
honestly,
interesting.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to Nicole, to Lisa, to Kevin for really taking this like second chance on me. You know, it was crazy. It was like, you know, they had an HR file on me. You know what I mean?
At your old station.
At my current station.
At your current. At
yeah,
KROQ.
it was owned. Yeah, because it
Thick
was owned
file.
both like owned by CBS Radio, which then turned into now it's Odyssey. But yeah, so there was an HR file on me. They called, my boss recently told me that they had called him like, hey, you sure you're gonna hire this Megan Hall? You know, he was like, yeah. So they really took a gamble, and but it was, for me, it was just so much confirmation from the universe, like, hey. Stay on this path. Like you're this is not going to happen for you again. So, and I was so just ready to be done with that way that I was living. And, you know, and it was funny because I stayed in that sober living for like 9 months, and I, you know, and then I was driving into KROQ, you know, 5 days a week, and then going home and calling in for curfew and stuff, you know, it was pretty humbling, I should say. It was very humbling. Yeah.
I did a sober living too. In Pasadena.
Oh,
it
nice.
was called the Nina House.
The Nina House.
Yeah, I had to share a room. It was a very old apartment building. It was just a sober living.
Yeah, but wasn't it a great experience? Don't you feel like it was what you needed?
My sober living job was at a temp agency. Well, I got a job through a temp agency, and I had to it was for an insurance company in Burbank. And I had no idea what I was doing. It was a cubicle job.
Can't believe you didn't stick with it. Ugh.
And I would go. It was $8 an hour. I was making like $300 a week or every paycheck, and I thought I was rolling in the dough. This was also in like 2004, 2005, and my sober living rent was like $400. So I remember telling my friends, if you need any money,
yeah.
I got you.
I got you, babe.
I got you.
Yeah.
Need coffee? I got you.
Oh my
man.
God. I cannot even imagine you working in an insurance
It didn't last
office.
very long. I had no idea what I was doing. Basically, I was in a cubicle, papers would come, and then apparently on the computer box screen, you would have to input what those papers were. And this is like serious insurance business.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't
like people's,
doing.
like,
I was just like,
important
"What's
shit.
this?" I just pushed this. It was like cheating on like a multiple
Oh my God.
questioning, you know, in high school or college, like with the bubbles. I was just like, okay,
That looks about right.
okay, that looks good. I would think I was there for like a week or two.
You were costing people millions of dollars.
Probably, but I mean, come on.
How did you get a job at an insurance? Like where? I mean, I know how I did that because my dad sells insurance.
Uh-huh.
And I would take naps because he would ask me to file. And I always had to, like, it was alphabetical. And so I always had to go and do the alphabet every single time. I was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Because I couldn't
was all
remember
cute. You're like,
if
shit,
D
A, B, C, D,
became
F, G.
for E. I was like,
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which would wear my ass out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
then I'd be like,
And then what
I
would
need a
happen?
nap. And so
Yeah.
I'd go and take a nap in the corner.
Totally. Back
then
in the
he'd be
file
like,
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was hungover. Like, the whole situation. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm tired.
Made me do my ABCs one too many times.
I don't know how
Is it
people
sad
do
that I still
filing.
have to do that, like, to a degree sometimes with my ABCs, like, alphabetically? I still have to sometimes do a little bit of that.
That W
Not
and
even
Z
gonna
and
lie.
Y gets real jumbled
Dude,
there at the end.
Where's the Y?
RSTUVWB.
So jumbly.
I know, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's real stuff.
I
But
will
so
say
that's
you're
how I
doing
got
really
into the
good.
insurance business.
You're doing really good.
You are.
How? I mean, like that's. It's amazing to me. Like, here's the thing. I was just drank, and so drugs wasn't a huge thing to me. But I love talking to drug addicts.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, how?
Heroin?
Heroin and meth.
Meth.
Yeah.
Did you ever visit Tweakerville? Kentucky, up in the hood?
No.
Easy does it.
My hard drug use happened up in the Bay Area.
Well, let's let Sarah know. I've said this to her a few times. So there's a little town called Fontana next to Rancho Cucamonga that we call Kentucky.
You know what? They're lucky to be called Kentucky.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Then Victorville is where they used to make all the meth, and we used to call that Tweakerville.
Oh, I don't think I knew about Victorville, Tweakerville. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I did the meth.
You know who's from Fontana? Travis Barker's from Fontana.
Okay,
that's
right.
That?
Yeah,
that's right. And you know who else used to live in our hood was Snoop Dogg.
Yes. Well, you know, Snoop Dogg actually came to look at the house right next door to us when we were kids. And we remember he like pulled up in this limo and he got out and he looked at the house and we were like, Snoop Dogg, you know, we're like too young to really know what's going on. But that was, you know, it was the highlight of the 909.
The 909.
And then he moved to Claremont. He got a house in Claremont.
So when he moved to Claremont, I remember when I was doing my driver's lessons. Remember you had to hour to drive around Rancho Cucamonga.
Are we talking about
Claremont.
he as in Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg.
All right, just checking in.
That one of my driving lessons for my permit was driving by Snoop Dogg's house.
Oh my
and
God.
they had like the dogs on the gate.
The dog.
So cool.
Yeah, he has this huge gate, huge iron gate with dogs.
Dobermans?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like
Yeah,
installations. On the gate.
Snoop loves the 909. He's got a house for his mom out in Rancho. He goes out to the 909 a little bit. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So how did you? So you both came from the 909. You both are drug addicts.
Yeah.
What happened in Rancho Cucamonga, you guys? Like what?
Too much Del Taco.
Too many green burritos.
Burritos from Del Taco.
Crazy. I did not know what Del Taco was until I came to San Diego.
And Baker's. I just
Bakers. My grandma used to take us to Baker's.
Yeah,
wow.
My dad loved a good Baker's.
To Baker's.
Or Wendy's. But it was really...
So what was your bottom? Like, what was it? What was the moment where you're like, damn, this is not...
Well, I mean, I had like a couple different bottoms, but this last one was it's sad. My friend Nick and I, so I had moved back from the Bay Area. I'd gone to rehab. I got out. I went to a sober living, this different sober living in Orange County in Huntington Beach. And my buddy Nick was like, hey, I'm also in sober living down here in Orange County. Like, we knew each other from high school. So we were like hanging out and like, I intended on staying sober. I really did. But, you know, I didn't go to any meetings. The other girls, the sober living was like a sham. You know, it was one of those. It was one of those. Yeah. And so all my other little roommates were getting high and everything. And I was like, well, fuck this. So anyway, Nick and I relapsed together. And, you know, and my roommates, and we're all hanging out and we're like, you know, getting hotel rooms and whatever. And then, so then Nick and I eventually start, you know, using heroin again and everything. And then we were doing that for a while, and then I realized I got to get out of this sober living because, you know, I'm not going to be able to keep getting away with this. And so that's when I moved up to Covina because a friend of mine had a room that was open. And then I was basically just best friends with my drug dealers. Like, I was just like at their house every day. I was also like a nanny, which was,
wow.
yeah, it was. I know.
Those are my favorite taglines of like, yeah, this is hardcore.
But like, I wasn't ever really high when I was taking care of the kid because I would be out of drugs, you know? So I would save a little bit for the morning, smoke my morning dose, go work, take care of the little girl, and then I would get my check for the day, and then I would go pick up. And it was just like that every day. It was like Groundhog Day, you know? And so, but anyway, one day I woke up very early in the morning to a phone call from Nick's dad telling me that they had found Nick in the backyard of the sober living and he had overdosed. And one of our last texts together was like, he was telling me he had like gotten some fentanyl. And I was like, I remembered my drug dealer in San Francisco telling me, I won't even deal you that stuff because you can die from like the smallest amount. And it always stuck in my brain. And this was like when no one knew what fentanyl was. And so I remember telling him in the text, like, just be really careful with that stuff. It's like the real deal. So that like broke my fucking heart. It broke my heart. And I remember being at his funeral high. And I remember like my very first boyfriend when I was in high school, he was like friends with Nick and he came up to me and he was like, was like, were you with him? Like people were looking to me because they knew that we were hanging out so much, like toward the end of his life. Yeah. And I was like, God, you're literally like contributing to someone's life, like, or to their death, really, you know? And so that was a really harsh, you know, awakening for me. And it wasn't long after that I had started hanging out with someone who was in the program, and, you know, he just kind of kept planting these little seeds for me. So I just checked myself I went to a hospital, and I just was like, I want to kill myself, because I just wanted them to put me on a hold. Yeah. So I physically couldn't go pick up heroin. And then when I got out of there, which was on New Year's Day of 2016, my buddy came, and he just took me to sober living. I did have one little relapse in that sober living, but then I reset my date. So yeah, because I was kicking in sober living. So I had my dealer one of my dealers come pick me up at like 3 a.m. outside of the sober living. I had no shoes on. I was in my shit. Yeah. I left, and we were trying to score heroin. By the grace of God, couldn't find any heroin, but he had some meth, and that helps with dope sickness, and he had some Xanax. And so I was able to take the Xanax into the sober living and just take that for like 4 days so I could kick, you know, and not be completely miserable. And then I've been sober ever since then. Wow. Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
How long? So, but that's the thing. Because usually people don't just go from doing nothing to doing meth. And like, so, I mean, how long did you actually do hardcore drugs?
So it started like with the opiate use. It started with taking pills every day. So,
what kind of pills? Uppers, downers? What's your jam?
Percocets. So it was downers. So it was so there's this guy, this maintenance guy on my work, and his name was we called him Filthy Rich, okay? And Filthy Rich. And he would come in, and I remember one day he's like had this icebreakers case, and he's like, you want a mint, you know? And I was like, I don't, you know, open it up. I'm all, fuck yeah, I want a mint, you know? And then I wanted a mint every fucking day. Yeah. And then it turned into
fresh and so clean.
And I'm like, how old were you?
Well, I was like, you know, I don't know, 22, 23. So okay. Yeah. And I was like at Live 105, career was going. I was like also in graduate school full time. I don't know how the hell I was doing what I was doing, but and then I remember one day waking up on a weekend and I didn't have a mint that day. And so my friend, and we like to get really high together, she was like, I think you're dope sick. So then I started picking up like there was this place called Pill Hill in San Francisco. It's still there, but you would just drive up and random sketchy people would get into your car and you would buy pills off of them. So I was buying oxys every day. And so I bumped it up to oxys, and then eventually you get to the place where you're like, well, heroin's just cheaper, so I'm going to do the heroin. And then I never intended on doing speed. Like I was a big coke head, like big time. Like all I wanted was like an 8-ball Coke and just put me in a room and I'm good to go. But, then what I ended up figuring out was that the speed helped with the dope sickness. So if I had, a methadone and then some speed, then I could, get through life, but then then you just like, once you start smoking speed, you just keep smoking it, and then you're not eating, and then you're not sleeping, and then you're in a psychosis, and then you're calling NPR, And
you called NPR?
I called NPR, dude.
What'd you call NPR? That's like my dream to call NPR.
Dude, I got on the air. I got on the fucking air.
Oh, high and shit? High
as fuck. I was so passionate. I was so passionate. I honestly, I don't, and I was working at a winery at this time in Sonoma because I had been fired. So I was working at a winery. So I was like drinking all day and I was strung out on speed. And and so I remember calling NPR. I think it was this black man that had recently gotten out of prison. And I think he was just talking about, just not being able to like launch a career or get like a job or something like that after, and I called in to say, how messed up it is that, it's like people do come out and they are reformed and they want to move on with their lives and and I mean, honestly, I have no idea really what I said, but I know I got on the air and I couldn't believe it. But I was I'm calling NPR,
I wonder if we could find that somewhere in like the archive.
But like I was. Oh, and then the reason why I quit the winery.
Yeah.
Was because so I was like, I was in a psychosis, and you think that like the FBI, CIA is like everywhere, right? Following you. So I was convinced that, that like 2 doors down, this new company that had moved in, they were FBI, they were CIA, whatever. And I was just so paranoid about everything. And anyway, this group of people that came in, I served them some wine, and then they walked out. And then I swear, like to this day, I don't know if it's true, but they did a costume change and they came back in. Sure. They wanted me to serve them again. And I'm like, these are the same people, but they're wearing different clothes. And one of the guys had freckles drawn onto his face.
She's imagining. Okay.
Who knows? Who knows?
She doesn't know if this was real or not.
To this day, no idea. But all I know is I quit right then and there. I left, and then 3 days later, I was in rehab.
Because you're so paranoid.
Can I tell you? Yeah. So I used to also smoke the meth.
The meth.
I used to smoke the meth, and my girlfriend at the time, my ex now, who's now completely clean off of. She's a lawyer in San Francisco.
Oh my God, that's great.
Married, has a beautiful daughter with her wife, Ashley. She's a great friend. We used to smoke the meth together. We got into it together in Rancho Cucamonga. And then we moved to Reseda on Corbin Way to be closer to our drug dealer.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
It was on Corbin Way in Reseda. It looked like Karate Kids.
Okay.
Apartment building. We lived on the bottom floor by the pool. And we used to smoke meth all the time. We had like nothing, no furniture. We had a teacup that we found, teacup chair that we found in our alley that we used to sit on. And we just would smoke. Same thing. I would always look in through the peephole like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like there's somebody right there. Yep. Do you want to know a fucked up story? What happened? Boom, boom, boom. Somebody at the fucking door. I'm like, they really are. There's cops here. I fucking knew that. They're fucking cops banging on the door, telling us we had to leave. They evacuated the whole building, but we thought they were there for us.
Totally. Oh my God. I would have had a
we
heart
were
attack.
high. There's smoke coming out. Like it was like we were in it. It was a meth den. Oh my God. We had to leave. We had hundreds of dollars of meth in our apartment. And the cops were at our fucking door.
Dude,
they're like, you have to step out. You have to step out right now. And of course, we're like, oh, they're there.
You're like, just arrest me. Yeah.
They know we're smoking the meth.
Oh, totally.
And while playing Monopoly, they know we are fucking. We're done.
We have the goods. We're going down.
It's over. And then we all had to step outside in our meth like sweat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
Up for days. On the sidewalk.
I can smell you at that time. I'm like, I can actually smell.
Is that what got
your smell?
Yeah.
At that time, just smell like meth. It's not a bad thing.
That's
it's just. That's why the fly. Yeah.
I'm gonna bottle that up for you and sell it at Lalabo.
Apparently, on OnlyFans, you can bottle it up and just sell it for a fucking $1,000 a pop. Wow. Think about it. So, all right.
Oh, can I just finish this?
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah. I'm sorry. Of course. I'm sorry, Jen Rosenstein. Please finish. Wow. This will happen for another 30 minutes. Wow. Yep. And here we go. Okay. This is my life.
So,
Wait, I have to invite her. Okay. Please speak. I would love for you to hear your story.
Yes.
So anyways, that was basically it.
Oh my God.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Awful.
It's the worst. I get me. The rest of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then we had to go out. We got evacuated. We had to go on the sidewalk with everybody else for hours, just standing there
without your meth.
Being math.
Yeah.
They're like,
like
looking around. The cops looking at. They're like, this is how they're getting us. This is how they're doing it. And it ended up being the guy upstairs was trying to kill himself with gas.
Oh my God, that's gnarly.
Isn't that fucked
Was
up?
he
The
directly
valley,
above you?
Directly above us.
Oh my
What a
God.
horror movie.
Dude, the fumes with the
fumes.
meth. Oh my God.
So once that was cleared out and he was taken out, I don't know if he was dead or alive. We went back in and
That is awful.
smoked some
And
more
smoke
meth.
more of the meth.
Yeah, we're like, that was a close call. I'm like,
God, that's insane.
yeah, insane. Okay,
I would have had a heart attack. If I looked out the peephole high on meth and I saw cops, I would.
Yeah, so Sarah has never done any kind of substance like that.
Easy
She's smoked some
does
weed
it.
and pills.
You
No, you
know,
never did meth or cocaine.
I live
or
in
heroin.
Kentucky, dude. At that time, there was a.
Yeah.
You guys lived in the desert, like it's.
No, we lived in Los Angeles.
Okay, desert.
That's
par for the
desert.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go to Rancho
It's a little
Cucamonga, it is. It's like Bakersfield, all that shit. It's like it's the same fucking landscape. We have trees where I'm from, just trees
And horses.
and
Rancho
We have
Cucamonga's
cows, man.
nice.
And
Come
hills.
on.
Now it is.
Yeah.
But do you,
nice. I'm just at that time. It was
know.
deserty
Yeah.
and very. What's that show called that was with full meth? Come
Breaking
on,
Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very Breaking Bad-ish.
some areas, I mean,
Yeah. It was
Ours
just.
is more Appalachia-y.
Yeah, exactly.
With-
Exactly. I think
yours is- you guys are
it
just
just
like
got
cousins have
manufactured
sex.
out near Rancho, out up in the desert. So you're not off. It just made its way to Rancho, one of the first stops. is
We
what I would
have
say.
meth.
But I never did meth when I was in high school.
But
or
we have
anything.
meth. Sarah just had cousins sleeping with each other.
Yes.
in Kentucky.
Yeah,
I
the
lost-
good old
She
incest.
has
My
the
name is on this
1,000-pound
podcast and I've
sisters.
lost all
We
count.
have methadone clinics.
That's right.
I don't like the way this is going. I don't like the turn you took. I don't like it. You're wearing a not cool hat. I need you to be on brand.
By the way,
represent.
not cool hat
My goddamn
available
shit.
soon at the merch shop.
Yeah.
It's hand painted. That was a new. I did that in the car, so that
expect
doesn't
to
This
have
count.
one.
is thank
Yeah,
you
you can
Katie,
totally.
I
Of
see that.
course, it'll be brighter. But I did that in the car on the way to Jason's yesterday, and it turned out a little dark. Anywho, so we have to. Okay.
Oh yeah. How we doing?
So
We
here's
have
the
a few more
thing.
minutes.
There's two things I want to know. One, like, obviously, you two are both. You're very successful, and you have that is your story could be a movie, like of how tragic. Like, and I don't mean that, but like really, I mean, there
Look
was
at her now. It's amazing.
no, and look at you now.
Shiny.
So
you
I guess
Beautiful.
here's what I'm always interested because I feel like it should be, helpful to people listening of like how what you two
Jen is patronizing me.
I know it's a lot.
I'm telling you, you're
I'm just
amazing.
Based on your
So are you.
own experience in this life of getting sober and just living in Los Angeles, this insane city, and doing 1 in a million type of job that you do, like what is one thing that you would say that you've done, or a couple things, that would be like the most important thing that got you from there to where you are now? Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at unless I had gotten sober.
Yeah.
I would probably not be alive. I think, like, I feel like radio happened to me. I did not seek this out as a career. It was like it just kind of happened to me. I was going to be a marriage and family therapist, you guys. That's what I was going to graduate school for. Yeah.
You would have
I'm
been
glad you
great.
Oh, maybe one day. We'll see.
You're way
But-
cooler,
Are
actually.
you a couples therapist?
I mean,
Okay, we're past that.
And I think working hard, like I still work really hard, and I worked really hard. Like, when I first started at Live 105 all those years ago, I literally worked for free for 1 year. So I was going to school, graduate school full time, and I was working 7 days a week because I was helping on the night show Monday through Friday, and then I had my own shift on early Saturday and Sunday mornings. And I just wanted to learn as much as I could, And then finally I was like, when are you going to pay? Listen, I need a date when you're going to start paying me. This has gone on for a year. Like, this is crazy, So I think it's just like with anything else, just being open-minded and I don't know, just working hard at it. And I don't know. I feel like luck definitely has played into my life big time. My mom always says, she's like, you're the only person I know who can land in shit and come smelling up like roses, And I'm like, thanks, Mom. You know,
that's amazing.
But it also sounds a lot, but just listening and not even being in your story, but it also sounds like there was like a lot of willingness, a lot of saying yes, a lot of not knowing what the outcome was going to be, but just staying in the action of doing it. Because like not getting paid for a year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It tells me like
But I had the luxury to do that because my dad was helping me at that time, you know. And, you know, since I was in school and everything, and he knew I was working really hard, he wanted to, like, be supportive. So that helps. But
you still have to show up, though. Like, I know plenty of people who are on their parents' dime.
I'm definitely a bit of a workaholic. Yeah. You know, it's like I work really hard. Like, right now, like, I'm on KROQ, but I'm also on Live 105 again. It came back. Wow. So I'm on Live 105 again. So
they rehired you.
They did. So full circle, right? And then I'm on another station in Sacramento. So like in the mornings I record my shows for them, like in the morning at home. And then I go and I do my show at KROQ and stuff. And it's just a lot of content making, and radio is weird because it's like, what are you going to say for 4 seconds, you guys? You have 4 seconds to talk. You have 7 seconds. At most, you have 40 seconds. What the fuck are you going to say?
And that's in between songs, in between
from
ads?
song to song. No, it's like not even in between ads. It's end of song into next song. Yeah. So if you get your words fucked up, which I often do, and like I literally stuttered on the air yesterday. I mean, it's like you have to be willing to make an asshole of yourself.
There you go.
Be willing to fail and be willing that not everyone is going to like you, you know, but just keep going anyways, you know?
I love
it's
that.
like, because what I think really matters is if you're connecting to your listeners, and I know that I connect with my listeners when I get those DMs and, you know, those emails and people, you know, saying thank you for saying this today, and you know, you really lifted my spirits or whatever. You know, I just want everyone to feel like when they're listening to me, we don't have to have a real serious time. We don't have to talk about anything too serious. We can touch on things like, hey, you know, this band Iration, they're from Maui, and they put up some great links on like where you can donate, you know. I try not to be too like serious about things, but then if things affect me, I do try to be like honest and authentic. Like it was hard being on the air during the pandemic and during the riots and the George Floyd's. I mean, it's like, how do you approach talking about that stuff, you know?
Did you talk about it?
I did.
You did a little bit?
I did, you know, and it was hard. I mean, honestly, it's like that whole time was like it was like, I have PTSD from doing radio during the pandemic, and I was doing 7 shows a day during that time, you know, because they were so desperate for, you know, they cut all the talent and they put me on. I was like on in Kansas City and all, you know, it was just crazy. So, but you know, radio is it's weird, you know, and it's a lot of younger people that, you know, might be watching are like, why didn't you just go on TikTok, you know? And that's its own art form, but it's an art form that I'm not, I just don't see myself like going to, like that ship has sailed for me. I don't see myself going down that whole road. I just don't, you know, this is just where I landed, and I don't know what's going to happen with radio over the next, you know, 10, 15 years, but I'm just kind of riding the wave for now.
I will say this. I will say this. I love hearing your voice on the radio.
Thank
it
you.
does. It feels like at home. It's like soothing, and it's also like a homie. Yeah. Even if I didn't know you, like even before we became friends, I heard your voice all the time because I listened to KROQ. I mean, it's rock and roll, you know.
Yeah.
And I would always hear you and be like, "Oh, that chick seems so fucking cool."
Aww,
you know what I mean?
So nice.
Like it's like the sweetness.
Thank you.
It's real. It's not like, "Hey, everybody." Like it's not like a lot of other radio DJs. It was very like going to a meeting. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Just the realness of it all. I love hearing you. I think you're kind of an icon in Los Angeles.
Oh my God.
You are.
I wouldn't go that far.
You are.
And you
interview so many massive bands, festivals.
Which I was going to say, because I have to wrap it up because you got to go to work.
Speaking up.
So, and that's what was kind of cool is both of you, myself included, I'm a huge music fan, always been a fan of music. I'd say, the whole situation growing up in the 90s and like all the 90s band and memorizing all the, and obviously Jen Rosenstein is a massive music fan, shooting all of the huge rock stars that she shot.
I think Jen honestly has way cooler rock star stories than I will ever have.
You both do.
Not true.
No, but I don't.
You and I work with the same folks.
But
though.
you're like backstage, like fly on the wall.
You are as well, but with a microphone.
Yeah, but not.
Okay, you both are cool.
Not really. Okay. Sorry.
You both are
and just
really.
Go for another 10. We can go for another 10. Just go for another 10. Yeah, it's all right. If I leave at 120, we're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
If you get fired from KROQ, I'm never going to be able to live with myself.
It's okay. They'll rehire her. It's what they do.
I'll put a permission
slip
and pin it to your shirt and be like, Megan was late because I kept her at a fucking podcast.
In the class,
making her explain
as
how cool her job
by
was.
120, we're good.
Hall pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the great thing is like both of you like to be women in this huge rock world, and both of you like have had connections to music for before sobriety, in sobriety, and like I just think how cool that is that you guys have this amazing. I don't know.
And
like,
the IE.
In the IE.
Yeah, I know. How do we make it here?
Do you get DMs from people from high school and people you growing up? I don't know if you're still connected to a lot of, because I do, like, oh my God, I didn't realize you're going to be blah, blah, blah. Or like, you have the coolest life, from these dudes that used to like make fun of me because I didn't speak very well as a kid. And now they're
the guys that DM you now?
Yeah. From like high school or elementary school, and they're like, oh wow, you have a dream.
Yeah, and you should just be like, hell yeah, I do, I'm stoked.
I do. I'm like, thanks so much.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I really do.
Totally.
No, you cannot get tickets.
Yeah.
No, you cannot get autographs.
Dude,
no, you can't have
the people that hit me up for tickets all the time. I'm just like, oh crazy. God. But the funniest though is there's this guy that I went to high school with, and he wins sometimes. And every time, so the first time I got his name, I'm like, Ryan Compass? I was like, from high school? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, why didn't you say anything in the first place? Like, so that's what's crazy is when people call in and they're like listening, and I've known them for years. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm pretty like, there was really only like one group of like individuals in high school that I really didn't care for, that I still kind of have to see around every now and again. Mm-hmm. But I'm just kind of like, your success says everything, right? Like, it does. You know what I'm saying?
And we moved on. So did you. Like, we just kind of kept saying yes, mm-hmm. and kept doing the next right thing. And then here we are now.
And most people, I think, are just stoked for like anyone's success. Same, like people are just really excited, you know what I mean? And that makes me feel really. I
had a friend, a very good friend of mine, growing up in high school, who I absolutely adored and loved, and her family. Her mom reached out to me recently to see if she can buy a print of the Vice President Kamala Harris, of the portrait I did of her, because she's a school teacher now.
Oh my God. She want to put it in her classroom?
I think, yeah. So I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So I got a print made, and I'm sending it to her.
That is so
her class. But that's the stuff that I fucking love.
Dude, that's the magical stuff.
Do you know what I mean? I'm
absolutely.
Like, they don't want anything else from me. They're just like, we're so proud, and you took this portrait, and I want to have it in my... That's the shit I love.
Oh, totally.
I'm like, please, I'm going to frame it for you and bring it to you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the good shit.
I think, like, anytime that we get to, like, give back in any way, mm-hmm. like whether it's like hosting something mm-hmm. or going, like my brother, he was a principal for a long time, and I got to go and like speak at his career day, or I've gone to like different, just like speaking to students or mm-hmm. whatever. And, just trying to give back like in any capacity. Same. I think always feels really good,
it does feel good.
But
it's something we can do.
Definitely just feel like super grateful, like for how everything worked out. And no matter where it's going next, like, it's been a really fun ride, and I don't know how it happened.
Speaking of, which goes to my next thing. Yeah. Because that's why I pulled up your Instagram.
Okay.
And so on the top of your Instagram profile, you put your quote is, buy the ticket, take the red. And that's from Hunter S. Thompson.
Your brother.
My brother from Louisville, Kentucky. So I guess like why, like when you put that quote, I was like, oh, like I wonder how that resonates with her of like, buy the ticket, take the red. Like, that's a pretty dope quote to have on your
profile. I think, well, for me, like, Hunter S. Thompson, like, not only was I obsessed with him during, of course, like, my using days, like, you know, and, like, would watch every weird anything on YouTube that I could find with Hunter S. Thompson, you know, where he's, like, running around in Aspen, like, with a shotgun, and he's, you know, I'm just like, I love this man. He's out of his mind. And I respect the way that he went out of this world as well. He was brilliant, a brilliant man that really lived to the extremes. And when you live life like that, I think you have so many different times in your life where you have like all of these different spiritual awakenings, and you blur the lines so much between like kind of being in that like psychedelic realm where you do see things in a much different way, and then you're kind of back into this reality, and this reality can suck ass a lot of times, you know, and it's hard to live in it. And I just think he never really, I don't think he just ever like found that serenity that he was looking for, but I think he lived a really fun and incredible life. And I think it's just kind of like, you know, just do the thing, you know, like just sign up, suit up, show up, buy the ticket, get on the ride, and then see what happens next. And just keep going. Like, just keep going. And even if it's like I lost everything at one point, you know, I was like living, like kind of living in my car too. And like, you know, I remember having like, you know, $1 in my bank account. Like but it's just like we just figure it out. So that's like when I get into fear nowadays, like, what if I lose my job, or what if this, or what if, I'm like, dude, you always figure it out. You always figure it out. Yeah. And so that's like, I don't know. I just think Hunter S. Thompson is like such a brilliant badass. And so
I don't know about you, Sarah, but I think Megan Holiday
That's her favorite thing to do.
Is a brilliant badass.
Oh, you are. Which brings me to my last question. Which, obviously, Megan, this podcast is called Not Cool.
But it's actually really
cool.
It's
actually very cool.
It's
like,
very cool. I like, you guys have put me in such a better mood for the day.
Good.
I'm so appreciative.
You deserve to be in a good mood.
Thank
but
you.
I understand that. I have to be around people to remind me of like, yo,
to like
chill.
lock in. Yeah, exactly.
Relax.
Everything's fine.
When I'm out of my head, shit's fine.
Totally.
Jesus. So trust me, you help me more than I help you. But obviously, so it's called Not Cool. And I named it that because I know so many fucking cool, badass people. And I also know they're superhuman. And they have stuff. We all have stuff. We have stuff.
Yep.
Like, I don't give a shit what you put on social media. Like, you take shits. Don't come at me like that. You know what I'm saying? I can get real passionate. Shit happens in your life. Yeah. Shit happens. So I guess I always ask my guests, like, what's the most not cool thing about Megan Holiday? And that can mean anything to you. Like,
God. I mean, the most not cool thing is, I think just being an asshole in the world. And, you know, and the thing is, like, I do catch myself, like, when I'm like, dude, you had the opportunity to be a lot nicer than you were right there, and you weren't.
Right there.
Like, it just, like, really happened to me the other day, and I was like, oh, shit.
Ooh,
you know?
What was it?
Honestly, it was like... This is gonna sound really bad.
We all have it.
But like I was in a meeting, and this woman had been like not nice to me like about a month beforehand, and I held on to that shit. And so then she was having a hard time, and then she was like trying to be all nice to me because I got voted secretary, and she's like, now you get to learn the secret handshake. And I was like, huh? Because I knew she was trying to be funny, but I wasn't entertaining her.
You're like, you're not
I didn't
funny.
entertaining her. I was like, huh?
You stone-faced
her. I was such a like, and I just could have been so nice, and I was hungry, and I was tired, and I was just like, oh, now you're gonna fucking be nice to me because I'm all dressed up today, and I look nice, and you're having a bad day. How about last time when I was trying to help you out with your fucking podcast that you wanted to ask me questions about? Girl. You know? So anyway, I was being an asshole.
Life lessons by Megan Holiday.
But so I just think like I really try to remind myself to not only be a nice person out in the world, but also it's not cool to not have compassion for yourself. That's been a big one for me. So it's like, okay, me telling you this right now, yeah, but I can also say, hey, dude, it's all right. You're human. You were hungry and this and this and that. And now when you see that person the next time, I'm going to go right up to her. I'm going to give her a hug and I'm going to say, how you doing? You know, and it's like, you know, it's
a real thing. It's second
like
chances.
Just and just like redeeming yourself and trying better the next time. Yeah. So it's like when I fuck up on a break on the radio, which is a lot, the next break, I'm going to just try to do a better job. Because I would beat myself up for days. Shame. Like I would live in shame. And I'm just like, I've been doing hypnotherapy and it's really been helpful for me. Yeah. To be like, have compassion for yourself. Stop kicking yourself down all day, every day. Because, like, if I'm not going to be kind to myself, then how can I expect anyone else to be kind to me? Yeah, you know? That's true. And I was tired. I literally woke up today and one day and I was like, I can't go another day like this. And I found this hypnotherapist and it's been like a game changer.
Really? You know? How long have you been doing hypnotherapy?
I've been doing it. It's probably been like, honestly, 6 months or something. And now I just kind of go like more sparingly. Yeah. Like I'm going to go tomorrow. But yeah, it's really helped me a lot. So just try to be kinder to yourself. I think it's important.
That's great.
Yeah. No, I love that. Well, and also too, but I find that people that are really, myself included, when I'm really hard on myself, I'm definitely hard on you. Mm-hmm, do you know? Mm-hmm. Like there's no softness. It's
totally.
Like, it's just this repetitive cycle, which sucks. No one wins.
Absolutely.
No one wins.
I'm the same exact way. Yeah. I know. And when I get stressed, it's the same thing. Because I'm just awful to be around when I'm stressed out. Yeah. You know, and I have to like remember. But it's the buy the ticket, take the ride. So it was like, I was tired today. I was like, okay, I got to go do this podcast. I got to be on, But it's like, but you just go anyway. And then you have the experience. And you just hang out with your buds. And you're like, oh, I feel better now. And I'm going to go do a way better job on the air now. Yeah. So it's just like listening to the universe. Mm-hmm. The universe trying to hook you up. You got to listen.
You have to listen and show the fuck up. Like that's half of it. That's the thing. And I am totally in agreement. I love with everything that you said. Ditto. I have all the same stuff. And it's so relatable. Like half of my battle is in my head. Yep. I build up these imaginative scenarios, how hard it's going to be, how blah, blah, blah. And like when you just show up, like even today at the same thing.
Yeah, totally.
Every podcast, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. I know I love her, but I don't even want to. Yep. Fucking mind games.
Me too. Every interview I've ever done, same thing. If you didn't care, like that would be more worrisome. Yeah. But and anybody who's like very successful, we all get nerves. We all, have those moments but it's just trying to frame things a little differently, I think, for ourselves. And even if we do, worst case scenario, you say the worst thing to me and I storm out of the room. Okay.
Be good drama.
So then it's good drama, and then it's good for the internet, goes viral. You and I both become really wealthy. We get a private jet. Yeah. We fly to Ibiza. We go to Ibiza. I've never been there. Yeah, we go to fly to.
I'm like going to Indiana. Yeah.
We fly to Kentucky.
Go to Iowa.
But it's like worst case scenario, whatever. Like you fuck up, okay? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Who cares?
Put your hands up. Don't even hold on. Just put your hands up.
We're gonna keep it moving anyway. Yeah.
Which is so Megan Holiday. We do have to let you go to work. Okay. So where can people find? First off, thank you for coming.
Thanks
to this
for
podcast. I adore you.
This is a blast. I love you guys so much.
We love you.
This is amazing.
We love you.
Where can people find you, Megan Holiday?
So people can find me on social media at Megan Holiday, and if you want to listen to me on KROQ, you can hear me every day from 2 to 6 p.m.
Hell yeah.
Jen Rosenstein, you want to plug it up?
Oh, man. I'm all just about the Not Cool.
Where can people find you, Jen?
The Not Cool podcast.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, look
at Jen Rosenstein on Instagram.
Cool. And check out her cool rock and roll photography. Check out Megan's cool voice.
Check out the new Not Cool podcast merchandise at notcoolpod.com.
More will be coming. I'm hand making all of them, so they take a little bit longer. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for being on my podcast. I adore you, and I can't wait to hear you.
I can't wait to hear my song.
I know, me too. I need this jingle.
Where's my jingle?
Anybody out there, please put a jingle to it. Could you add some bass? All right. Thank you, guys. And maybe some dubs. Right. Okay.
That's cool.
Bye, girl.
Bye.
Hey everybody, you want more Not Cool? Then go to Instagram and subscribe to Not Cool Pod, and or on my own personal page, which is Sarah Hyland Rosenstein.